Hi, and welcome to Lamplighter Kids Stories. My name is Rebecca, and this is my squirrel friend, Momo.
Hello, kids!
We have an exciting story for you today. In each of our stories, we are going to learn about one virtue. A virtue is anything that is good and right and true. Virtues are like little lights that shine bright and beautiful in a story.
Can I tell them about letters from Momo?
Go ahead.
I want to send you a real letter in the mail once a month. In my letters, I will share some of my fun forest stories and talk more about virtues. Also, each letter includes an activity page. And I may talk a little bit about acorns as well.
If you would like to get letters from Momo in the mail once a month, just ask your adult to visit lamplighterkids.com. At lamplighterkids.com, you can also find Momo and my Seeds of Character books for sale. So, are you ready? Come and listen while we light the way to your imagination. Hello! It feels so good to be back sharing another story with you all after my relaxing summer break. I had a great summer break, but I'm not so sure about you, Momo. Do you want to tell everyone what happened to you over the summer?
Well, I had very high hopes for this summer break. Mama McSquirrel, Papa McSquirrel, and I went to Shelly Mill Beach. A wonderful place. Normally, we love that vacation, but the first day was the only good day there. Then there was a monsoon. It rained and rained for 4 days straight. Normally I love the rain, but not when we're supposed to be on a sunny beach vacation. We were stuck inside, and then, right when the rain was starting to go, we all got very sick.
That doesn't sound very fun.
That's not even the worst part. Soon, swarms of mosquitoes showed up out of nowhere. It wasn't even fun to be outside when we were getting bit all the time, and then, the worst part, the one acorn tree near Shelly Mill Beach ran out of acorns! Oh, we were left with nothing but simple seeds to eat all week. It was not the best vacation.
I'm not sure anyone would have fun with all those bad things happening. I'm sorry that you didn't have a great vacation, Momo.
Well, I would be feeling more sad about it, but Mama McSquirrel and Papa McSquirrel and I decided that we just couldn't end the summer that way, so we ended up having a staycation when we got back home. We decorated my Mama and Papa McSquirrel's house so that it looked like a beach house, and then we had so much fun there. We made delicious food, stayed up late reading books and playing games, had way too many desserts, and just laughed a lot together. We were able to end our summer break with so much fun.
Well, that was a great idea to have a staycation. It sounds like maybe you had a fun summer after all.
It sure ended that way at least. We just wanted to make something good out of a bad situation. And we did. The best part was that our own acorn tree was right around the corner, never out of acorns.
Well, I think we all know you wouldn't have fun without something acorny to munch on. After something goes really wrong, it can be hard to find the energy to make it better. But if you do, it feels so good. I have a story for you today about just that. It all begins with a school science project. Jasmine couldn't believe that she had done it again. She had ruined her slime-making science project for the 5th time. A big, gloopy yellow mess was dripping down between her fingers and into a bowl. This yucky goo was supposed to be a bouncy, stretchy ball of fun slime. It was supposed to be perfect. Her project was due by tomorrow morning. She needed this to work. How was she going to stand up in front of her class tomorrow and talk about her science project when she had no science project to talk about? She grabbed the bowl and dumped all the watery slime into the trash again. Hey, what do we have here? Jasmine looked to see her older brother, a twinkle of a smile in his eyes, looking at the mess in the trash. Wow, this science project is really going to impress your teacher.
Ha ha, very funny, David, Jasmine said in a flat tone. I have no clue what to do. This is my 5th time I've tried to make slime and it's not working. Mom hasn't had any time to help me this week with her new work project and all, and I'm out of ideas. I'm going to get a really bad grade on this project.
She placed the bowl back on the counter and began washing yellow slime off her hands. David grabbed a cereal box from the cupboard and poured it into a bowl. Well, you do know why it's not working, right? Jasmine looked at him, very confused.
If I knew, then I would know how to fix it.
I'm just saying that there's someone in this house that's super duper smart and can fix almost all the problems in the world. Oh, and he's super cool, too. He smiled as he poured milk over his cereal. I bet if you ask this amazing guy for help, he would do it. It took Jasmine a second to realize that David was talking about himself, and she let out a little laugh.
Oh, I see. I do need help, but I thought this super cool guy had a lot of important high school homework to finish. At least that's what he's always saying. I didn't think he'd have time to help me with my own homework.
David didn't answer. Instead, he grabbed the slime recipe from the counter and began reading it to himself between bites of cereal. Jasmine's heart began to feel 1,000,000 times lighter. If her big brother David could help her, she was sure to get this slime made before tomorrow. Have you tried a different recipe for the slime? David asked with a mouthful.
I tried 2 recipes so far, Jasmine answered.
Why don't we try for a third? I'm sure I can find one with good reviews, and then we'll get this project done in no time. David pulled out his phone and began looking up slime recipes. Jasmine wanted to jump up and hug her older brother, but decided to hold back since he looked very focused on finding a good recipe. Instead, she just smiled and looked over his shoulder. Just moments before, she had been so stressed about the possibility of showing up to class without a project. But now she had hope. If anyone could figure this out, it was definitely David. The two of them got to work, pulling out ingredients and dyes. This science experiment was bound to work now. By the end of the night, and way past her bedtime, Jasmine yawned at the kitchen table, sitting back to look at the beautiful glass jar full of perfect green slime. Behind the shining jar stood a tall poster full of diagrams, drawings, pictures, and descriptions of the slime. She smiled as she looked at the details. The poster had taken more time than she thought, but every little picture and diagram was perfect.
My teacher's going to love this,
Jasmine said, dreaming of the pride in her teacher's eyes. David looked up from across the table. He had been working on his own homework while she finished up her poster. I guess it just took a genius like me to help my poor little sister, he said teasingly. Jasmine rolled her eyes, but she knew he was sorta right. All right, Minnie, he said, using her family nickname. I think it's way past your bedtime. Mom's gonna be home any minute, and I'll get in trouble if you aren't in bed when she gets back. Jasmine usually hated it when it was time for bed, but tonight she felt so tired and so thankful for David's help that she quickly hugged him goodnight and went up to her room to sleep. She couldn't wait to go to school in the morning and show everyone her science project. Jasmine woke up the next morning to the sound of heavy rain outside her window. She stretched and then remembered that it was her big day. She was going to show the whole class her science project today. With a little extra speed than normal, she got dressed, brushed her teeth, and ate breakfast. Her mom helped carry the poster and jar of slime to the car in the driveway. She was very careful to hold their big umbrella over everything just right so that it didn't get wet and damaged. They drove through the pouring rain to the school. When they arrived, Jasmine kissed her mother goodbye, grabbed the umbrella, poster, and jar, and walked carefully up the sidewalk toward the front doors. Her legs were getting soaked in the rain. But she didn't care as long as the umbrella kept her project dry. As she was so focused on not getting her project wet, she didn't see the giant puddle in front of her. Before she knew what was happening, she stepped deep down into the puddle, splashing water everywhere. She tried to jump back out and away from the wet puddle, but instead, she managed to trip over her feet. It all happened so fast, she didn't even have time to think. She fell forward, dropping everything in her hands in order to catch herself on the ground. To one side, she heard the shatter of glass. Jasmine blinked a few times, trying to get rainwater and mud out of her eyes. Then she looked up and gasped. Her beautiful jar of slime lay shattered on the wet sidewalk. Glass and mud pieces stuck to the slime, making it look like an ugly, sticky ball of moss. Next to this disaster lay her poster. The entire thing was floating in the large puddle, its pictures crinkled and ruined, the beautiful designs she had spent so much time on fading away. Jasmine felt tears coming. She slowly stood up and looked around. Many students were staring at her under their umbrellas and hoods. She could see two of her good friends running towards her with concerned looks on their faces. What was she going to do? This project had taken her so much time, and she was supposed to have it finished today. What would her teacher say? What would David say after taking so much time to help her? Her friends arrived and began asking lots of questions, but Jasmine wasn't listening. She was too frustrated and sad to concentrate right now. One of her friends lifted Jasmine's large umbrella off the ground and held it over all of them. Putting their arms around her, the two friends pulled her into the school building, saying something about finding the school janitor so he could clean up the mess. Jasmine wiped tears from her face. She could hardly imagine anything worse than what had just happened. Jasmine's teacher was understanding. She said that Jasmine could just finish the project again and present it after the weekend. Jasmine felt overwhelmed at the thought of spending more time in the kitchen trying to make the perfect slime and a beautiful poster to go with it. She had already spent so much time on this project. Plus, she knew David was going to be very busy with sports practices this weekend, so he probably wouldn't be able to help her this time. She sighed. What choice did she have? If she didn't do it, she was sure to get a bad grade in science. So she took a deep breath as her teacher wrote down math equations on the whiteboard. She knew that she would just have to do it again. That weekend, Jasmine worked on her project. She was relieved that it only took 2 tries this time to make the perfect slime. With the new recipe that David had found, it wasn't as hard. When she was done, she put the slime into a large plastic bag. She didn't want to risk breaking a glass jar again, and then got to work on the poster. She wrote everything again, drawing the same diagrams, printing the same pictures, gluing the same decorations. It felt a bit frustrating to do all the same things again, but she kept going. Finally, she finished. She stood back and smiled. She even thought it might look a little better than the other project. On Monday morning, which thankfully was a very sunny day, Jasmine's mother parked in front of the school and helped Jasmine carry her project straight to class, just to make sure that nothing happened this time. Jasmine stood up in front of class and presented her slime project to everyone. Afterwards, the class got to take turns holding the slime, which everyone loved. The teacher told Jasmine that she had done an excellent job and gave her the very highest grade. After dinner that evening, Jasmine lay on the couch reading. It felt so good to finally be done with the project. She heard her brother come into the room behind her and pick up his ukulele. Jasmine smiled. She loved when David played his music. It filled the house with such wonderful sounds. Let's see, I think tonight I'll play a little song for my little sister, David said. Jasmine sat up straight on the couch and looked at him, smiling. He was always making up fun songs, and she loved to hear them. Sometimes, even when you try to do your best, life can knock you down to the ground. You sure got really wet. It isn't fair, it isn't right when you've worked so hard to see everything that you love just up and fall apart. But resilience, you got back on your feet again. You showed the world that you won't give up, you won't give in. Resilience, you got back on your feet again. You won't give up, you won't give in. Resilience. Jasmine clapped. I like that little song. And if I had any musical talent, I'd sing a big song to my big brother that says thank you for helping me on my science project. But as you know, my singing sounds like a lost puppy, so I think I'll spare you. David smiled. What do you say we watch a movie tonight? The answer to that question was always yes. As David sat next to her, browsing which movies to watch, he said, "You know, if you wouldn't have worked so hard on your project, you wouldn't be feeling this good right now." Jasmine thought about it silently. She did feel good. Very good that she had worked hard, even after a big trip in the rain. She knew that if she had just accepted a bad grade on this project, she wouldn't be feeling this good right now. It hadn't been a very fun journey, but the end results were worth it. Her thoughts got interrupted when David excitedly exclaimed, "Ah! Here's the one we love." David pressed play on one of their all-time favorite movies. Jasmine settled deep down in the couch, ready for a peaceful night of relaxing with her older brother.
Wow, I'm not sure I'd be able to do a big project like that all over again if that happened to me. That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. When something goes wrong in your life and you're still able to keep going and make the best or better of it, that means that you have resilience. Resilience is the wonderful ability to keep on going even after something bad happens.
Oh, I see. I guess that means that my family and I had resilience when we decided to redo our fun family vacation after it all went wrong.
That's right. I bet that every one of our listeners has practiced resilience at one time or another. Being resilient doesn't mean that you don't get frustrated or sad about the thing that went wrong, but it means that you're able to work hard and eventually get to a better place.
A better place like the oak tree at my house. I'd say I'm pretty resilient when it comes to finding acorns. It might be my best quality.
I'd say that's probably true, Momo. If I ever need an acorn, I definitely know who to ask. All right, it's question time. Question 1. Why do you think it might be hard to have resilience when something goes wrong in life? Question 2. Why is it helpful to have resilience? Well, I don't know about you, Momo, but it feels so good to be back sharing stories here. I really missed it.
I missed it too. So, what's the next story going to be about? Can it be about a squirrel named, Momo, who, loves acorns and, has a really beautiful bushy tail?
That sounds like a very familiar story. I'll have to see about that. But I tell you what, I'll keep it in mind. All right, everyone. I hope you're having a great start to your school year. I'll be back soon to share another Lamplighter adventure with you. Thanks for listening to Lamplighter Kids Stories today. If you liked our story, please feel free to share it with your loved ones and leave a review. It really helps other listeners find these stories. If you're interested in subscribing to Letters from Momo or would like to purchase Momo's Seeds of Character books, just visit our website at lamplighterkids.com.